Welcome back to Bit Break. If you are looking for a really clever holiday thriller that is a massive page turner but will also blow your mind, you are in the right place. I have got a pretty big range of genres, different types of thrillers and mysteries here. Really all of these deserve a place in your holiday suitcase. I'm going to go through them in order of release date because some of them you will need to pre-order for your holidays a little later on in the summer. I will start with the ones that are out now. So kicking off with The Midwife by Tricia Cresswell. This book has a really clever use of a dual timeline, piecing together different stories that come together in such a clever way. So it kicks off in 1838 in the Northumberland moors, where a woman is found naked, alone, near death, and with no memory of her past or who she is. But somehow she does remember how to deliver a baby, how to speak fluent French, how to dress a wound. It's like The Bourne Identity, but with midwives instead of spies. And this book has one of those twists, the ones that have you flicking back through the pages to figure out how on earth you could have missed that. My favourite types of clever thrillers. State of Terror by Hillary Clinton and Louise is coming out in paperback in July, so if you want to wait for something a little bit lighter to pack in your suitcase, this is what it will look like when it comes out in paperback. This is a political thriller written by someone who really knows what she's talking about. Co-written by Hillary Clinton, the book takes us inside the White House and into the super high-stakes world of international politics. It's completely unputdownable and also terrifying because this really could happen. The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum is a thriller about a black classical musician on the rise when his priceless family heirloom violin is stolen and in its place is left a ransom note for $5 million. So it's a thriller within the world of classical music, which from the outside I never would have known is such a cutthroat industry. This book does for classical music what The Queen's Gambit did for chess, with a hell of a mystery at its centre. Daughters of Night by Laura Shepherd Robinson is a historical mystery set in London in 1782. It's about politician's wife Caroline Corsham, who becomes a witness when she finds a murder victim in the Vauxhall Pleasure Gardens. The victim is a woman who, it turns out, was a sex worker, a fact that causes the London police to completely lose interest in her case. So it's down to Caroline Corsham to seek justice for this woman. And along the way, she uncovers this incredible conspiracy. The Woman in the Library by Solari Gentile is a proper literary murder mystery. It's about a murder that takes place in a library. So everyone is ordered to stay inside, including 4 strangers who had just happened to sit at the same table that day, each of whom has their own different reasons for being at the library that day, and one of whom is a murderer. This book has been so buzzed about. It's got a story hidden within the main story in a really clever way. So a great one to read on the beach this summer. For a literary mystery, Saint X by Alexis Shakin is a really wonderful book about a woman whose sister was murdered on a family holiday many years before. So now an adult, Claire is in a taxi one day when she recognises the driver. He was one of the men originally accused of her sister's murder all those years before. So this sets Claire off on an obsessive quest to find out what happened. And as well as being a mystery, it's also a really amazing character study of both of the sisters as well as of Clive, the man whose life was forever changed by this accusation. The Murders at Fleet House is the first and only crime novel written by Lucinda Riley, the multi-million copy best-selling author of the Seven Sisters series. She actually wrote this book 16 years ago and had always hoped to have it published after she'd finished the Seven Sisters series. Very sadly, Lucinda Riley passed away in June 2021 and her son helped bring this book to light. So that is the backstory of how this book exists, the only crime novel she ever wrote, but so recognisably Lucinda Riley's writing because of the incredible sense of place. The book is set in a Norfolk boarding school after the death of one of the pupils. The headmaster of this school is very keen to rule it as a tragic accident, but Detective Jasmine Hunter isn't so sure. Okay, the next few books I'm going to talk about are out any day now, so get those pre-orders in. Out in June is The Love of My Life by Rosie Walsh, and this one is really clever in the way that it blurs the genres of romance and thriller. I'll link below to a video we've got of Rosie Walsh talking about why she finds these sort of romantic mysteries so compelling to write about, so much more than darker mysterious themes like murder mysteries that we might be more accustomed to reading about. And her books really pull this off, taking domestic situations and turning them into something so page-turning. So this book is about what happens when you discover that someone you love, someone really close to you, has been lying to you. In this case, about everything, even their name. Coming out in July is Upgrade by Blake Crouch. Blake Crouch writes the kinds of books that make you feel really clever just from reading them. They are all these high concept sci-fi thrillers that make your brain hurt in such a good way. Upgrade is the latest, and this one is about a man who has been targeted for a gene upgrade, which turns out to be just one part of a huge and terrifying plan for evolving humankind. Coming out in August is Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, and I'll show you what the finished cover will look like here. This is a really clever twist on Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. In this book, we meet a dysfunctional family brought together on an island that is completely cut off from the mainland for 8 hours. And just like in Agatha Christie's original, one by one they start dying. Along the way, the family secrets start to spill out and reveal some very clever twists. And finally, a book coming out a little later in the year, so perfect for those September-October holidays, is The Other Side of Night by Adam Hamdi. This one is really clever in the way that it completely defies genre. Honestly, most people I know who have already read and loved this book have recommended that you go into it knowing nothing about it. It is the kind of book that will grab you and surprise you, and you just have to go along for the ride. But I've got to inspire you to pick it up somehow, so I will tell you as little about it as possible, but I will say it is told through mixed media, so courtroom transcripts, journals, letters, and that it is a thriller, but that it is also sci-fi, romance, even poetry. And I promise you will never have read anything like this before. So let me know in the comments below which books you are planning to pack in your holiday suitcase this year. I will also link here to a video we made before on books with amazing twists that you will not see coming. So do click through to get some more inspiration, and I'll see you next time.